Merry Christmas to everyone, and I know I said I would upload on Boxing Day, but I thought, what's the point? Why not do it on Christmas Day? So I hope that you guys have had an amazing morning. I'm in my Christmas best, a white Monster Energy Christmas shirt, and I'm playing V8 Supercars 2, arguably the greatest racing game ever made, because if you change the brake bias to 100% front, you can do a burnout down Bathurst Main Straight in the AU Falcon, and it looks bloody sick. And honestly, what more do you want for Christmas? Speaking of which, I hope you all got what you wanted and you've had a good morning with your family, but you're watching this now, so it's time to spend some time with your boy Matty as we continue on our YouTube money journey, actually installing some of the mods that we bought in the previous video on the XC Falcon. Now I know it's Christmas, so I don't want to waste your time, so we're going to get straight into it. First things first, we got to go to Bunnings, because we need to spend a little bit more money to get a couple more things to do the modifications that I want to do. And one of those modifications being the boot install, putting in the sound deadener, doing all that, but then also just making the boot look nice. I'm talking carpet, suede, wood panels, LED lighting. It's going to look bloody trick. Anyways, there's no time to waste. So I'm going to go get changed out of this, because in your time it's Christmas. In my time it's not Christmas yet, so it's a bit weird wearing this out on a Bunnings trip. Actually, maybe I'll just do one more lap of this, and by lap I mean burn out all the way down and back again on Bathurst Main Straight, and then we'll move on from here. We're on our way to Bunnings to get the MDF for the boot install, because we just got to get some shit done. So straight to Bunnings, first mission of the day, get the MDF, maybe a little bit of perspex. I've got an idea that I want to sort of execute with the way that the boot is done, and it involves a little bit of perspex and a little bit of lighting. I don't know, we'll see how we go. Might not make it in, maybe it will, but that'll be today's Christmas time shenanigans. It's getting that boot done, putting in the car builder's sound deadening stuff, getting that into the interior, doing it through the interior, and basically making this an enjoyable car. We're on the freeway right now, and you can just hear everything from the outside. You can hear, obviously, the wind. Perth's just a windy place, so you won't be able to stop that, but everything else, the road noise, the tires, the engine, you can feel the heat coming off the firewall. All these little things that just make driving these cars during the summertime in Australia not that enjoyable. We're going to fix that with the car builders stuff. So we'll get that done. And to old mate that said last video was too much talking, not enough action. Well, it's all action this episode, so I'm going to stop bloody talking, and I'll see you at Bunnings. Hopefully, it is Monday. Hopefully they got sausages on sale today. Hopefully they're doing sausage sizzles every day leading up to Chrissy. I'll see you in about 3 seconds in the trade section of Bunnings, which is where we'll park this up, because it's a tradie ute, it's a trade vehicle. Go grab a sausage and get some wood. See you there. Alright, so here I got home and just had to get stuck into doing this rust repair section in the boot. Before I proceeded with doing the fuel tank or anything else to the boot, I needed to get this rust repair section in. Now, in the other video, I couldn't quite make the repair section because I didn't have the right tooling at home. But then I went to Bunnings, bought some angle, and then I put that in the vise, and then was able to use that angle steel to bend this piece of metal at the right angle and keep it straight, and then put it in, and it turned out pretty bloody good. And that's it for the rust repair. It is done. Now, look, don't come for me. I have just sprayed it with a bit of KBS just to stop it from flash rushing. I reckon that looks pretty good. Works pretty well. Worked a treat, if you will. Even then, the seal goes over all that. Basically, what I'm doing is this whole around here, behind tail lights, along here, all through around here, I'm gonna use some KBS rust stop. So that means I'll be taking tail lights out tomorrow. I'll be getting the scan of them. I won't be able to print out the new ones because the printer hasn't arrived just yet. And even then, I'll have to do a full test print, which will take like a day, iron out the little bits and bobs, and then more testing. So it might take a couple of days of printing just to get the taillight housings correct. But because I have to cut essentially the threads off the back off, take them out, and I want to drive this thing on Christmas Day, I'm essentially going to put the taillights back in and use some self-tapping screws or something like that to hold them in temporarily whilst I print the new ones. But yeah, KBS rust up all through around these edges here. And then I'm gonna respray it because you see this section, this little piece here, you see this. So I'm probably just gonna sand, once I, rough everything back, I might just respray this in the sweet cream. I've got the sweet cream in a pressure pack, so I might just respray this section because obviously it's been pitted and touched up and shit. But what did we get from Bunnings? Now, what I did get from Bunnings was a shit ton of MDF, also some Perspex and some window tint. But you might be thinking, what the hell are you bloody doing? Well, some of you familiar with the early 2000s car scene may remember boot installs and hectic boot installs. Now don't worry, I'm not going spec boot install with this bloody thing. All I want is a nice flat surface to put some black carpet on. Some nice black carpet, just big flat surface. And then some walls up here, like, just blocking off that area. From factory, it had, bits of wood going over here, and then the vinyl would cover over and give you lots of boot space. I don't need boot space. I need what boot space I have to look good. So close off this section here, and then we're gonna have the Ford Ranger tray lights that came off the next gen Ranger that I rebuilt. That will be integrated into those panels there. And you might be thinking, well, how are you going to turn those on? You're going to have a little button that you press that. No, we're going into we're in 2025, mate. I'm talking technology from the 70s. This is just a door jam switch. And I'm thinking of mounting it here. The only thing is, it just looks ugly when you open this boot up and you've got nice black carpet and everything's all black there. You're gonna see that. Like, I don't know, you're gonna see that. But that's an option. I could put it there. I could drill a hole in here, stick it up through the hole and have the button sitting like that, and then the button hits on here. So when you open the boot, it earths out and the lights come on. Or I was thinking it would be pretty trick if I placed it right, and then when you shut the boot, that little arm goes down, presses on it. Turns them off when the boot's shut, turns them on when you open the boot. Now, that's very bougie and tricky, but wait, there's bloody more. Whilst I am just going nice black carpet, I do have some black suede and grey suede, I think. So I'll be doing some accents in suede. Maybe I'll do the side panels in suede. Maybe I'll do like a piece down the center in suede. I don't know. Maybe I'll just make it look, maybe I'll do the Ford logo in suede in the center. That'll look pretty cool. Anyways, we've got all that. We've got the car builder's shit to put through, including the car builder's carpet. A little bit of sound deadening in this area. Now the sound deadening will be going around this sort of wheel arch here, and maybe I'll put some sort of insulation or something there. I don't know. Once I take out the interior and take out the back seat, I'll replace that shitty old, I was going to call that wood, but it's not even wood. I don't even know what it is. Asbestos, whatever. But before all that goes on, we're pulling out this fuel tank. Now it's like 5:30 p.m. It's almost 6 p.m. here, so I'm not going to do that now. I'll drive this to the gym in the morning and try and drain that fuel a little bit more. It's like it's right on E, and I'm running the gauntlet just starting this up and driving it down the road to the gym in the morning. So try and drain what little fuel there is. Hopefully I'll make it back home. It just means there's less that I have to tip out of it. But we'll get back from the gym in the morning, pull this thing in, rip the fuel tank out, and get on with the fuel tank. Whilst that's going and it's doing its magic and it's converting the rust and getting rid of the rust and breaking it all down, we'll continue on doing the car builder shit. But I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to bloody do it. So I'll see you guys in the morning after I finished at the gym. And you know what I'm going to be doing at the gym in the morning? I'm going to be doing 20 reps of scrolling through Marketplace while taking up the only bench press in the whole gym. Just maybe 15 reps of clicking on an AU Falcon. That's the kind of workouts that I'm doing. Get with me, get on my fucking level when it comes to fitness, all right? Marketplace fitness, boys. That's what we're all about this Christmas season. Anyways, I'm talking shit. I'll see you in the morning. Why isn't this bloody thing open? It's like the handle's broken or something. There we go. And it is the next day. That's right, I slept in the boot. I couldn't wait to get into the fuel tank today, and I just jumped in there and let's get into it. So straight off the bat today, we've got to do the fuel tank. We've got to rip the fuel tank out, drain the fuel out of it, start the process of the rust removal and the shit removal from it. I'm not going to seal it. I might use the sealer on the outside to give it a nice black coat, or I might just use black spray paint. The world is my oyster. Anyways, enough chitter chatter. Let's get into it. I'm not sure if I ever showed this on any of the videos, but I made a custom spare wheel retaining bolt thing. Essentially just cut a washer in half, welded that to a bolt, but even then, didn't have a bolt that was long enough to reach from here down there. So I ended up having to weld 2 bolts together. And you'll see here once I finally unscrew the bastard. No, it was 3 bolts. I had to weld 3 bolts together. There's the first one, and then 2 shafts of some other bolts plus this one. Anyways, that works pretty much perfectly, as you saw. Oh, there's a lot more than just a few litres in that. Oh wow, that is not just above the E. That is half a tank. Whew. Have you ever siphoned petrol out of a fuel tank before? Well, I know for sure some of you have. You questionable motherfuckers. But anyways, it's not that fun because you've got to suck in a bunch of fumes first and you need a clear hose. If you don't have a clear hose, you can't tell where the bloody fuel is. Now here it wasn't too much of an issue. I filled up this first jerry can, but then I had to do it for the second jerry can, and it didn't come through. So then I thought, I need to suck a little bit harder. Well, that'll bloody learn me, won't it? Anyways, remember how I said it was pretty much on the E? Well, 2 bloody jerry cans later, almost 40 goddamn litres. Might need a new fuel gauge. Alright, now that that's over with, and I've got the aftertaste of petrol in my bloody mouth, let's start this process and just get this done with, because I'm sick of fuel. Gold standard fuel tank sealer. But remember, we're not sealing it, we're just cleaning it out, we're just getting rid of the rust. Dilute aqua clean 1:1 with hot water and pour mixture into the tank. That's aqua clean. Now, do I use the whole bloody thing? So we're going to speed run this. I'm going to use half of the aqua clean, mix that with hot water, soak it through, smash it around, tip that out. Then I'll use the other half of the aqua clean, do a second rinse, move it around. Whilst that's soaking, I'll continue on with the rest of the boot refurbishment. And then we'll tip that out. And then it says, after cleaning with aqua clean, rinse generously with water until the solution runs clear. Drain tank and allow to dry. Rinse thoroughly with distilled, demineralized or deionized water and force dry immediately with a heat gun or a hairdryer. Brother, where the hell am I going to get all that deionized, demineralized water from to rinse it out with? I'm going to need to buy like 6 jugs of that shit. Right, while the aqua clean does its thing, I'm just going to let that soak there. I'm actually going to let that soak for 24 hours. And I mean, I've got the fuel tank out. I might as well do it somewhat properly. I might even go buy diluted water to rinse out the rust bars. I know, I'm a changed man. Now look at this beautiful looking empty boot. I'm basically just going to go through and scuff all around and then the KBS rust seal, which I think surely... Now, one thing I won't do, I'm not going to use this in the tank. I'm sorry, but I can't have the car out of action for 96 hours, 4 days. And I know the Christmas period is the time when you take your car apart and you do work to it because you've got all this time, but I don't have 96 hours for this. I'm sorry, it's summertime, I live on the beach, I'm going to drive it. So I don't really care too much about sealing up the tank, but surely these are the same, because this is like $100. And it makes sense because that was so bloody expensive. I got like a lot of it. So we are going to sort of just scuff back areas. I mean, look at, you know, where the paint's gone and all that sort of stuff. Just scuff bits of it back, clean up, get rid of like, you know, all that dirt. Now, I was going to coat the whole bloody thing in this rust seal, but that's just silly. I don't need to do that. What I might do is try and get in here, scuff a little bit down there, and just pour a little bit of this down there and sort of spread it around, because that's where any rust. We'll clean those areas up, get some converter on it, then put the rust blast over the top. So I'm going to do that first so we can let that dry and do its thing, because that takes a while to act. Then we're going to go through, scuff the rest of this thing, get all the exposed chips covered with some KBS paint. The rest of it's okay. Just clean it up, make it look nice, then we're going to start mapping out how this boot's going to look with the boards and all that sort of jazz, and how I'm going to utilise this acrylic sheet here with the decorative window tinting over the acrylic sheet, the LED lights that'll go underneath it to create look, I don't want to go into it, I might confuse you, just trust the plan, trust the process, and you'll see the end result. It'll either look shit or it'll look pretty bloody dope. Righto, as you can see, a couple of little holes in there. Oh my golly goodness me. 2 little pinholes. I'm gonna have to go and buy a patch panel and cut that all. Sake! That ain't happening. Just gonna put some tape on the outside of that. Continue treating this as per usual. And then once it's all dried and all that sort of jazz, I'm probably just gonna like dab some converter on that, sand it back just a little bit, dab some converter, then almost just spot spray it with the sweet cream. We're just trying to keep this car going. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm sure there'll be time for a full rebuild later on down the track. But now's not that time. We're just trying to enjoy it. All right, what's next? I'm gonna do the smart thing and grab all the bolts from taking the fuel tank out and that cover off and that out and that thing out. I'm gonna grab all those bolts, gather them up in one handful and put them all in the same container. Even shake them around. That's called building a car on hard mode. You know what I'm saying? When I'm building a car, I want to feel like I'm playing Dark Souls and not Banjo-Kazooie. So that's a future me issue. But in all for realnesses, let's start getting all the unnecessary shit out of here. This wiring harness here, let's unplug these globes, move the wiring harness out of the way, get it ready to clean up. Probably gonna pull off all this tape as well, this 50-year-old masking tape. Place that with fresh nothing, and then we'll be good to go. Get these MDF boards in here, figure out the layout, and then I'll show you. I've got 2 different types of suede, and then I've got the car builder's carpet. So there's got to be some, and I've got the acrylic. There's got to be some accenting going on. There's a lighting situation happening. It's all happening.
So starting off, unplugging the tail lights, and then finding out that the bulbs don't fit through the little bracket there. So I've got to disconnect all the wires out of the back of the bulb sockets. So that was fun, figuring that out and trying not to break them. I think I broke one, but you get that on the big jobs. Anyways, these taillights came out because they were pretty cooked. I think on this one, there was only 1 nut holding it in. On this one, there was 3 left holding it in. And I had to sort of melt them out of the plastic to get them out. So now those taillights are out, to put them back in so I can drive the car over the next couple of days, I'm just going to tech screw them in whilst I print the new ones, like I said.
All right, all done. Well, not really, just the paint's all done. I didn't think you guys would want to see me do a time lapse of me just sanding the whole boot and then spraying it. I didn't think that was too exciting. I don't like it in videos where they just time lapse like for fucking 10 minutes of them just doing the most monotonous shit. Anyways, here it is. Looking a bit better. I did the old fucking tape there, blacked it out, and then taped back over it once it dried, and then I hit it with a fresh coat of sweet cream on that little section there. It looks quite fresh, doesn't it? Oh, bloody hell, ignore that overspray. Jeez. And over here too. Don't worry, I'll fix that up. I'm not even gonna edit the video and refilm that after just quickly hitting it with fresh paint. It's how genuine we are over here, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, got the rust stop, painted all up in the sides, up in there and then down there, and covered all that. And same with this, rust stop all up into the wheel arch area. And then I even got the brush filled with rust stop and just ran it through the channels. All through there. So just got to leave this boot seal off for a bit and let that dry. But the rest is all nice and matte black and looks very pretty. I don't know what's happened there. Obviously a bit of no bingo with the paint sticking out, but that doesn't matter. I'm not fussed. The rest of it, I hit some sections with, there was a little bit of pitting rust there and a smidgen of pitting rust there. Hit that with the rust converter. Did a couple of things, the rust converter, a couple of spots here and there, and then I just hit it with a blanket coat of the KBS primer. Even on this section here, it looks all bloody nice, doesn't it? Like matte black on some nice, just flat metal. Can't beat the look. It looks brand spanking new. Anyways, what's next, you might ask? Well, fuel tank still soaking in the doobie the treatment shit. This is pretty much done ski now, ready for the fuel tank to go El Baco Inno. Might even hit this wiring harness with a fresh wrap around of the old fleece tape from Car Builders as well, just so it looks somewhat like, because you can't have fresh black and then shitty old electrical tape harness, just looks silly. Anyways, I thought I might let that dry and really just bake in for now. I don't want to go in there with boards and shit and doing all this and that and touching the shit that isn't dried yet, and then I end up getting more of the sticky shit all over my bloody arms. So I'm gonna let that dry. So what I might do is I might just clean up my shitty area. By the way, this is just a shit fight at the moment. I've had this toolbox like for 15 years now. Same with this one here. I've had all this shit for a very long time. If anyone wants to sponsor me and send me a sick fucking box, I mean, be my guest. But if not, even just send me an email telling me to go get fucked. That would be very much appreciated too. Anyways, I'm gonna clean this up, and then I'm gonna take these taillights inside, give them a little bit of a clean up, and we'll get the 3D scan going, put them on the turntable, see how accurately we can scan these taillights, get the 3D model into the computer, so we can print them as soon as the printer rocks up, which should be tomorrow. It's Christmas Eve tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. Anyways, I'm gonna get all this cleaned up. You don't have to join me, you don't have to watch. I'll just skip straight to me scanning the taillights. So lucky you, you don't have to clean up the shit. All right, we're gonna try and speed run this shit. So here's the tail light. There's my little rotation table hooked up to the laptop. The laptop will have the scanner hooked up to it. I'm gonna take this front lens off so I can scan the insides of it and all that sort of jazz. Whilst that's scanning, I'm just gonna let that spin for a bit. I'm gonna go check out the fuel tank. We'll drain the aqua clean out of the fuel tank and we'll see what's going on. Even this weighs like genuinely like 1.5 to 2 kilos. This is insane. It's like it's using actual thick glass, not just plastic. This is really heavy for a lens. This thing weighs nothing. Oh my God, of course there's an update to the fucking program. All right, so we've got the housing rotating there. Some parts of it says it's good, and then for the majority it's sitting in the optimal range. So I've got a preview there. I might just sort of bring it in the center. All right. I'm gonna let that do its thing and come back in a little bit. All right, while that's scanning, I'm gonna pour out what we got in the tank. And if it's somewhat clean, I'm just gonna send it from there. I'm just gonna clean it out and go from there. But I have a feeling it's gonna be full of shit. And then I'm gonna have to do the rust blast and go through all that. I really don't wanna have to go through this. I just wanna get this thing back in there. Well, I mean, it doesn't look good. It smells even worse. Yeah, I can already tell this is gonna be an absolute nightmare to drain, refill, do all that shit. I'm gonna want to do the minimal amount of work. But as you can see, what I'm getting out of it looks like trash. Understand why it isn't coming out of the big one. Look at that, that's what came out. That's fucking no good. So, combination with the hairdryer and a bit of compressed air. The only thing is, it's impossible for me to tell if it's dry or not. I don't have I've got an inspection camera at work, I don't have one here. So, I mean, yeah, I could just send it now. I mean, that shit's just meant to loosen rust and get rid of rust, right? And then I'm meant to use Rust Blast, actually. I mean, all AquaClean is just a degreaser. It's a cleaning agent, right? So I've cleaned it out. I've degreased. I've got the shit out of there. You could see rust when I was getting all the water out of it. There was, you know, a little pool of rust particles coming out with the water. So, I mean, I could put the Rust Blast in there and it gets rid of it all, but here's the thing. It's like 5 p.m. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. Well, for you guys, it was yesterday, but for me, it's tomorrow. I would now need to put Rust Blast in this and spend the next hour dealing with that Rust Blast. And you're not meant to let Rust Blast dry. You've got to get rid of every ounce of it. So you got to rush and you got to flush it and rinse it out. It's going to be late by the time I finish that. I haven't done anything with my partner all day today because I've been dealing with this. So I kind of want to spend time with her, you know what I'm saying? It's Christmas. I want to spend time with my dogs. Sugar and waffle. So here's what I'm thinking. Dry this out as best I can. Slap it, or not slap it back in, but we'll start with this. get this looking. We'll get the Scotch pad on here, get rid of all this flaky shit. We'll hit it with some black paint. We'll hit these edges. Once I get rid of all this shit on the side, we'll hit these edges with a bit of rust converter just to convert anything that's on there. Then we'll hit it with some black paint on the underside. Then maybe even give it a coat of the KBS rust proof or rust stop or whatever it is, just so it's like a thick sort of coating and looks somewhat shiny on the back end. Yeah, we'll do that. That way we can get on with this. Are you kidding me? I could have just bought one from a brand spanker for $800, $900. I would have spent $900 to not fuck around doing this. This takes me like a whole day, if not more. It's just a shit job to do. I've got to drain it into certain tubs. I've got to drain this and that and do it. Mate, I'm all about simplicity. $900 for a fuel tank, and it comes with all the brand new bits and bobs. I'm an absolute sucker. I spent $300 on the kit, so take $300 off the price of that tank. I've only got to spend $600 on it. Far out. All right, I think that's okay. I totally forgot I've left the 3D scanner scanning the taillight. I mean, that should be done. Let's go check that out. Okay, what the Mick shit? Okay, I guess you really got to stay with it and make sure it's going all right. That's fucked. Let's just try doing a manual scan. We'll see how we go. Okay, so holding it by hand. The scan turned out all right. You can't really see anything there, but I'm just going through Fusion now to make it look pretty. I'll come back to that, but we're doing too many things at once. We can get back to this fuel tank. By the way, check out this, Emma is building this Mustang, this Lego Mustang. That looks absolutely sick. She's working her way through that. Anyways, while she builds a Lego Mustang, I've got to build an actual piece of shit. So, bit of a rust converter inside there where the wheel sits. It was a bit flash rusty before. Now, I'll take this back up. I'm pretty happy with how it's going. It should be all right. Get the wire brush on this, get rid of this shit, spray it, make it look pretty, do all that. Let's go. Righty dooley. So we are just pumping through it. So sorry for not filming everything, but I went over it with Scotch-Brite. Obviously you can see I didn't get rid of all the shit, but I don't have time to really just absolutely send it and get rid of everything. But pretty much that was all bare steel and it was all good. The main parts of rust were on the top of the fuel tank, which is now the bottom. Now what I've done is I've hit that with the rust converter, a couple of layers of the rust converter. I've done the same here, let it dry off a bit, and then I've hit it with the KBS rust stop, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the KBS rust stop and brush it on the underneath of this tank, just because it's thicker, a bit more protection, and it'll look better from the back. It'll be a slightly shiny black as opposed to this matte black. So I'm gonna hit this with the KBS, let it dry overnight, and then that way I can just slap it in probably first thing tomorrow morning. And then once it's in there, I can then coat the top of this because it's sitting upright. I can coat it and it's good to go. Whereas this is underneath the car, it's harder that you can't paint it once it's, you know, all that shit's in the way. So get this done first, let it dry, slap it in, and then just get on with the rest of it. All right, now the key is to try not to spill the shit anywhere on your floor, because then you're gonna have a bad time. There you have it, spicy looking fuel tank. Might as well do this little divot for the exhaust. This is the cutaway section that the exhaust pipes run past. See if there's any runs or drips, which there isn't. Anything that doesn't have full coverage. Looks like it's good to go. All right, done. Bloody Dunskies. I reckon that looks pretty friggin' trick. Don't you reckon? It'll probably look absolutely horrible once it dries, but that is a tomorrow morning issue. That's future me issue, future Matt problem. Not right now, Matt. Right now, Matt is hungry, wants to eat food, maybe have a little wine. Tomorrow, me, I'll be having a coffee, fresh as a daisy, ready to tackle shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's done. It is Christmas Eve tomorrow. It's almost 6 p.m. I just want to eat dinner. I just want to have food. I want to hang out with my loved ones. So I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm chilling with you guys right now on Christmas Day, but if you wouldn't mind, let me live my life and I'll come back in the morning and we'll crack on with it. Ooh-wee, look at that. Doesn't that just look beautiful? All right, change of plan. I spent all morning, it is midday Christmas Eve. I spent all morning editing the video. It takes a long time to edit these videos and I've literally just been wired in with caffeine and just pumping it through. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna slap this in and just sit it in there because we've still got some stuff we need to get ready for Christmas Day. I did want to drive the XC on Christmas Day, however, because I spent all morning editing the video, I don't have the time to put the tank in, hook it back up, get the tail lights back in and do all that and get it drivable. And also, while I'm here, I just wanted to thank everyone on the last video that gave super thanks. They literally donated money through the comments. Jace the Ace, I think that's it, Jazz the Ace, donated 50 bucks. Which is 2 cans of KBS primer. That's insane. If that continues, I'm gonna have the whole car painted in bloody KBS primer. Go back to the matte black Falcon. Nah, can't do that. Anyways, I can't thank you guys enough, especially during Christmas time. Any money I make from YouTube is literally just spent on the car, which makes it easier on myself that I don't have to spend my income, which is already going to so many other bloody things. Cost of living at the moment is out of control. So I can't thank you guys enough that donated in the comments last video. You know, Maddie, Michael, Rob saying that it reminds him of his dad's XC Falcon. So I'm stoked to be able to bring you guys content that can bring back good memories whilst making memories of my own. And while some of those memories aren't that great, you know, who enjoys doing anything rust related? But when I drive the car, that's what makes all this special. So can't thank you guys enough. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Don't do any dumb shit. Maybe do a little bit of dumb shit, but stay safe while you do the dumb shit. And I'll see you guys in the new year because making this content, making these videos, it takes a lot of my time and I just want to chill out from here on into the new year. So I hope you guys can understand that. I'll see you guys in the new year unless I just randomly decide to make another video, which could happen. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your Christmas or whenever you're watching this, enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you guys next time.